Yo, there you are. Look, there you are right over there. Hey, everybody. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what kind of nonsense you got brewing today. Jeez, what a bunch of animals. Oh, I scared you? Yeah, I'm the problem. Happy Sunday, everybody. I do have doors. Yo, you know what I want to do with these doors? Do you know what's behind these doors? That's the ever so epic video game collection that I love so much, right? My entire life to put it together, which is kind of sad. I want to knock off those stupid doorknobs, and I want to get like decals on the doors so they look like a bank vault. And then I'm like, and the doors just go, and all this smoke comes out of it, and then dancing girls, and like a dude on a dirt bike comes out, and I'm like, ah! That would be pretty cool. Like, that would probably cost dozens of dollars, but I would give it a go. All right, let's see what we got. You think that's too much? Yeah, I'd probably be like $27. The mess to clean up afterwards, I think, would be worth it. Yeah. I got like once a month, I could get everybody stuffed in there. I'm like, all right, you guys ready? Okay, here we go. Smoke, and then, yeah. All right, that was fun. See you later, everybody. I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that have been? Oh, may have been pissed. I shouldn't tease you like that. All right. So today's going to be a little different. A little different than the usual. Because we had some technical glitches last night. Just a little bit. Enough to kind of like put a little bit of a hiccup in our like, upload process and stuff. So I thought it would be good before we have all kinds of stuff going on next week. We've got, we're doing a full album breakdown and dissection of Heal, the album from The Rose. We're doing that. We're doing a DPR Ian 101 live stream. We got that, and then we got Purfest round 2. So we got a bunch of stuff going on, and I don't want to run the risk of losing something important, right? That's some big live streams. So I thought it would make more sense to kind of just like hang out a little bit. You know, we can do a little Q&A if you want, if you have stuff that you're curious about. But also, we're going to kind of push the limits on the stream. Here's what I mean by that. You know how sometimes all of a sudden the stream just starts to buffer and you're like, what is going on? Well, sometimes I think that's because some of my settings, I think, might be a little goofy, right? Maybe, I don't know. And sometimes it's because, you know, when I bring up this little window over here, right? And all these little GIFs and stuff are playing and everybody's having a good time. I wonder if it's because the computer is just screaming. Like it's just struggling. So I think what we're going to start doing, we're going to push it a little bit, right? So for my Discord, my little Kingdom crew, when the time comes, I'm going to have you jump in that live stream channel and just go complete batshit crazy. And then chat, those of you that are right over here, I'm going to have you go batshit crazy. And it's going to be the same thing as me opening up the door. So I'm just going to, and then you can put your favorite song in there. You can put some hearts, some dancing people. And we're going to cause some chaos. And I'm going to watch my little numbers here and we're going to see see what kind of impact it has. Okay. Matter of fact, I wonder, ooh, this might be kind of fun. Well, it's going to be fun for me. I don't know about you. Let's see here. If I if I can do a little window that shows you the window I see, maybe. Let's try this. This is where things go awry. You're like, as soon as he starts pressing buttons, this is going to be a disaster. Okay, let's see here. Window. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, see, there you go. Okay, you get the, that's my old list. That's actually my light. You can't really tell, though. Okay, I get that. Good. Bring that down. See, there's a lot going on here with these little buttons. But I gotta find the one where you can see my numbers and stuff. It's not even an option. Are you serious? It's already chaos. That's crazy. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Chat, it's going to be just about chaos time for you. Okay? Just about. So here's what you're going to do. When I give you this, chat, I just want you to just anything you want, just type. Just type and send stuff. All of this should be just go, right? And then that's when we just shut it down. And I'm going to see what effect it have. Huh? What effect it has on my analytics. Okay? Everybody ready? You have already started? That was just an example. Oh. Okay, now you're ready? Go. Let's see what you got. Come on, chat. Let's go. Come on. You got to work harder than this. Let's go. Oh, that's pretty good. Damn, that's pretty good. I see bad shit. Come on, let's go. Okay. Good. Okay, chat, keep going. Discord crew, you're up. Let's get that Discord coming in hot. Let's go. Everybody. Discord, chat, hey, chaos. This is pretty good. Damn, this is fun. We should do this every time. Okay, you ready? When I clap, it's gonna halt. You ready? Wait. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't you slow down. Are you crazy? Here we go. This is where the latency gets a little weird. Oh, that's pretty good. Look at these bozos. Oh, that was pretty good. Some of you need better internet, but that was decent. See, the other people that came in don't know what the hell's going on. I'm like, what is happening? Good job, everybody. That was pretty damn good. So here's what I've got from my analytics and my system here. Out of 37,000 frames, you're seeing 60 frames per second right now. You're welcome. We only dropped 5 frames. That's a 0.0% latency. That's delightful. So that means my settings right now are pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's good. So good job, everybody. Now, we do that because, generally speaking, unless I say something completely nonsensical, which is highly unlikely, exceptionally rare, chat doesn't tend to move that fast. Now, this nonsense, the whole thirsty crew with all your little GIFs and JKs and Hobies and shirtless Korean men. Hi. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't tend to move that fast. So, tad rude. You had me at shirtless men. All right. I don't want to be throwing seizures around the world. So just we'll pick that very carefully. I do wonder though. Don't tell Lulu I said this. I've been chewing on this, and hell, maybe I've said it before. I wonder if we should put a car channel in Discord. And if I put you in the car, you're in the Discord car. And then only people that are in the car can chat with people that are in the car. I think that would be great. I think that would be so good. Yeah, meet people, you know, so-and-so, car, Tamara, car, Tad, car. And then next thing you know, you're just sitting in the car in Discord, chatting with somebody you have no idea. Road trip. See, it would be really interesting if that were the only channel you were allowed in the car. Oh, you're like, well, that's not as fun. Oh, that would make it awkward. Now that's chaos. By the way, whichever one of you put snacks in the car, you didn't think I would find them. I'm on to you, bozos. The thirsty car. All right. So that was pretty good. That was a good little test. Now everybody's just going to want to go to the car. It's like it's supposed to be a punishment. Maybe the punishment's going to be me reading this in non-nighttime hours. Maybe that's what we'll do. See, and what'll be interesting is if we have a car channel and I start tossing people in the Discord car, and then like all of a sudden when they think they're being all sneaky and like, oh, we're in the car and nobody knows what we're talking about. Oh yeah? Boom. Everybody can see what you're talking about. Busted. See, Captain knows all. The king speaks. He knows what's going on. Oh yeah. Anybody? Can you hear the chaos outside? You can hear it. Okay, that's gonna stop. You all wanted me to eat grapes. I got grapes. There you go. Everybody wins. All right. And it's delicious. Okay. Siobhan, this is a grape flavored, zero sugar Monster. Not sponsored. Nothing tastes as good as not being sued. Okay. It does taste like a pixie stick. See, Rhea, that is why you're Rhea, the great cruncher of farts. I wonder how many people just went, what's that? Yeah, you gotta know. That's why you should be in the Discord. How many of you here in chat right now are Discord peeps? How many of you are actually in the Discord? Oh, damn. See, that's when chat explodes. Okay, good. That makes me happy. Always a good time. Yeah, hi, Steph. I see you. Rabbit hole. Not in my Discord, trying to figure out. Yeah, I totally get it. I was terrified. When we opened up that thing, ooh, man. I was there to witness it opening and starting because thank God I got people like Lulu, the queen, who knows how to do that stuff. She's a wizard. Just hacking the planet. She's like, all right, here we go. Boom. And we had like 1,000 people the first day or so. It was crazy. And it just grew from there, but it was nuts. It was like 3 days went by and she was like, hey, you should probably say stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is my Discord. I don't even know how to use it. How do I talk? She had to teach me everything. Yeah. I was terrified too, so been there. Yeah, Lulu is she's out gallivanting with friends. Mm-hmm. It's fine though. Like she was very humble when she asked my permission, and I said, I grant thee some time off. And she said, oh, great. And she kissed my hand, and then I waved her off. That's exactly how that happened. Okay, let's see what you got here. Will we do a movie time later? Shiv, that's a pretty good question. Yeah, I definitely want to, I want to do more movies and stuff. The one that we have watched so far was... It was David Bowie's Crotch. What the hell was the name of that movie? Labyrinth. That was close. Yeah, we watched Labyrinth together, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I want to do more of that. It's going to have to kind of settle into the spots of, like, we got In the Soup coming up, we got Bon Voyage coming up, and then we've got like Hobie's got a docu-series coming up. Codpiece, what did I say? Yeah, David Bowie's Crotch. I was right. Isn't that like the movie's tagline? David Bowie's Crotch, the movie. Yeah. Crotch, codpiece, same thing. I mean, come on. We are going to be watching Dimash's new drop, but we're not going to be watching it at 4:30 in the morning, which is my time. But I think potentially Tuesday night, we're going to be checking that out. We'll do like a quick stream, check out Mr. Vampire himself, see what he's got flaunting, and then go from there. Yeah, Crotch Crew. Well, thank you, Justice. Justice, is that your real name, or is that just like your superhero name? There's no wrong answer. I'm just curious. You really appreciate my reactions. Very informative. Well, you've seen the good ones then, because there's a lot of not great ones too. I don't know what I'm doing. That's your superhero name? I approve. Yeah, I think it drops at like 4:30 a.m. my time. No, Ed, I gotta say, it sounds like I call you Ed. I'm genuinely not trying to be modest. I think that there are some reactions that I have done that are good ones. I think there are some that I really get into it. It gives me something to kind of break down and dissect, and I get into this level of like theory crafting, and I enjoy that stuff. What was the one we watched yesterday? It was IU called Shh. That one was perfect for theory crafting. Now, to me, as a director, that's how I feel most of the videos and reactions that go out should be. But the fact of the matter is, it's just not the case. Not every video has these levels of, symbolism and all these meta layers of things. Some of them are just meant to be fun videos to watch. So there's not a lot to dissect, and that's when it really just does become a reaction. It's just a reaction. Okay, I like the song, was pretty good. I don't really care for this part, and then it goes out. And then it's just not the same level of value that some of the deeper videos are. So, but as I said in, I think, one of the last few live streams, the question then comes up, well, why do you release the ones that are just you going, it was okay? Well, because then people know that I've watched it. If they don't know, then it just becomes spams of, you have to watch these 1,000 videos. Well, we watched those already. Yeah. Perry, what made you get into directing? Perry, I picked up a camera when I was really young. I was not good, but I've always been a bit of a storyteller. So when I was a kid, way back in the old days, that hurts. My dad had this Panasonic camcorder, okay? Now I know nowadays we have these like Hollywood level cameras with us all the time. But back in my day, the camera sat on your damn shoulder. It had a pistol grip with a trigger on it, and then like a scope You put in a VHS tape that was the size of these Girl Talk books, nailed it, and then you just record, okay? You can zoom in, you can zoom out, very fancy. And I used to record stuff, and I'd kind of like tell little stories. It wasn't really any good, but that's kind of what started it. And I didn't do anything with it. I grew up and I had different plans, and I joined the military, and then I joined like this whole other career of teaching and all this kind of, military stuff. And then one day, completely randomly, completely organically, I was teaching a class to my students, and we were talking about, being in dangerous environments and some things you have to watch out for and what situational awareness looks like. And I'm showing this movie clip, and it's just terrible. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm literally teaching people skills that could save their life. The stuff that I'm showing them should be custom, tailor-made for them, instead of me choosing a damn movie clip that I think is entertaining and works relatively well. No. So I started making my own videos, and that just kind of blossomed into a whole new career where I was able to tell really important stories about this will save your life and here's how you use it. This is the kind of situation you could find yourself in. Here's how you use this technique to XYZ. So that's pretty much how that worked. Rhea, I was in the United States Marine Corps. I was a sergeant. And I was terrified. I was 17 years old when I left home, and I was terrified because for all intents and purposes, I was and am a mama's boy. When I left for boot camp at 17 years old, it was really the first time that I had been away from home, and I was about to leave for 4 years in the military. So that was something. Justice, you send a Semper Fi right back to your son. Also give him this. Ah. Yeah, that's like the little yell that we do. It's kind of the same way that, like college kids are like, woo, the same thing. Kathy, I am on Eastern Standard Time. That's right. So right now it's about 2:30 p.m. where I am. Justice, you got to do it right. Don't just go, no. Yeah. You also have oorah. You have things like that. Kylie says your siblings are also currently serving in the military. Well, thank them for their service. What does my work look like now as a civilian working closely with the military? That's a good question. It's really, I would like to tell you that it's not really that exciting. It's pretty exciting. Because when you work with the military, and having been in the military, I get afforded a lot of opportunities that most civilians don't get. So if we're doing something with helicopters, I'm on the helo, we're riding around in helos. If we're shooting guns, I'm shooting guns. If we're doing some crazy stuff with explosions and grenades and boats and all kinds of stuff, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm in there and it doesn't bother me one bit. I got a camera, we're running and gunning, and I know exactly where I need to be and when. Nothing, like, I just fit right into the puzzle. So my average day could literally be, I go to work, I go to my office, and I'm sitting in front of two giant curved screens like I am right now, and I'm editing like a movie editor. Or it could be, I am on location, I'm the director, sitting in a little fold-out chair with a monitor with my crew around me going, and action. And then here comes the helicopter. Here comes guns. Here comes the Navy SEALs. All this crazy stuff. Or I'm over here with a long gun and I'm shooting these guns and they're filming this and I'm saying this line. Like, it's literally any number of things that could be happening in a day. And sometimes I don't know what that day is going to consist of until I get there. That was probably the weirdest way I could have answered that question, but that is the truth. Do I like being outside? I don't like being outside, Omar. You know why? Because I can't control the temperature. If it's too cold or if it's too hot, no. If there's bugs, no. Am I getting wet? Is there snow? No. I don't like it. What I love about video games and stuff is that if I don't like the situation, I can just pause it. And I can just take a nap. I ain't got to worry about bugs. I ain't worry about cold. I ain't got to worry about snakes, no spiders. And if I don't like it, I can just reset. Done. Easy day. I start over from scratch. I can put in the cheat codes and I win. Hey, that's the truth. The Marine Corps ruined all that shit for me. I don't want to go camping. I don't want to be out in the woods. You ruined it. I'm an indoor cat. I have done a lot of time outside. I'll tell you that right now, a lot of time. For those of you that don't know, OJC in the chat is my best friend Omar. He is an overlander, which I didn't even know what that was until he started doing it. Omar was the best man at my wedding. I've known him for over 20 years. We met in the Marine Corps, and we've been besties ever since. So he's determined to take me outside one of these days to go camping. Yeah. I will say, though, I'm not dreading it so much because, like, when we were in the Marine Corps, you were literally sleeping in holes. You dig a hole, you sleep in it, it fills up with rain, you're miserable, and then you got to hike 20 miles with all your stuff the next day. That sucks, right? Nobody wants to do that. But that's what we did. With Omar, he has decked out vehicles. They're like houses. It's like he's got a Jeep Commander that he can press a couple buttons that he engineered, and this giant awning comes out, these chairs come out, you know, it's inflatable people that sit there, and you could talk to them like they're real. It's pretty badass. Now, he hasn't put any like video games in there yet, but I feel like if I work him the right way, he'll do it. It's like glamping. Like, that's not camping. I'm okay with it. Yeah, exactly. The co-pilot on airplane. Yeah, he's probably already gone. How about shooting videos outside? Yeah, when it comes to my work, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And I go out and I do what I got to do. I don't really complain. But as an example, and here's the contrast, I work with Omar, and in his side of the organization, his side of the company, he pretty much spends all his time outside, and he loves that. Now, if I had to do his job, I would be a sad puppy. I would be like a wet cat. But my job is perfect because I get to be indoors most of the time. And then when I do have to go outdoors, it's for fun stuff. So I don't really think twice about it. He's all gone already. I got things to do. He's busy and important. He's still watching. He's listening to hear what we say about him. Omar, are you still here? Are you listening to what we're saying about you? Watch. He'll speak up too. He's not too bright. I mean, he's handsome as all hell. But see, there it is. Told you. See, when you know somebody for 20 years, you know. Kathy asks, what got me interested in K-pop? Oh, is that a loaded question? Well, without reliving the story that I feel like I've done 100 times, Kathy, I'll answer your question. I uploaded a video to YouTube of me playing a video game that had BTS music in it. I just thought it was a cool game. I liked the music, thought it was pretty cool. It had more BTS music, I uploaded that. And then before you know it, all these people started coming in, putting comments on like, hey, you like this music? I said, yeah. Well, you should check out the music videos. What does that mean? You should react to it. Well, what does that mean? And then before you know it, you all pulled me from my video game world into this, and I never looked back. Yeah, good old Beat Saber. Good times. Doesn't it feel like a lifetime ago? What is it? It's been 2 years. Yeah, right into this nonsense. Have I ever watched KDA? I think I may have seen a couple videos from KDA, but the one thing that sticks out to me is that one of my preferred Beat Saber songs is a KDA song that I think is pretty badass. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's included in the game. Maybe it's Pop Stars. Yeah, that's a good one. Tamara, it seems way longer than that. I don't know how to take that. Are you trying to hurt me? Damn, Tamara, you know how to cut a brother, don't you? Good questions, though. Hey, Brenda. Don't be asking for no stories from Omar. He's going to give you the unflattering ones. I give you the best ones. You like the unflattering ones? Who is that? Food and Chaos asking about my shirt. You know what it says. A cup of tea with sugar and a cookie. That's right, delicious. Epic the Musical. I can't say I've heard of that. Story time with Omar. Let me see if I can tell you a story about Omar. Ooh, I might have a good one. Ooh, let me just kind of roll through the story Rolodex real quick and see if it's something I should tell you. Ooh. He was with me in Greece, Tamara, that's right. Omar and his wife were with me and the FERT when we were in Greece, and we had that little situation at the ATM I told you about. Yeah, he was there. When did that ever stop me? I know, that's the problem, though. You realize how many things I say on this channel that I shouldn't say? That's right. Anna Coles is the one who got me this lovely shirt. Thank you, Anna Coles. My sweet amber. Waves of grain. Everything. That was a crazy story. Yeah, so many things. So many things I shouldn't have said. How does Annie feel about being called the FERT? She thinks it's funny. And she always gets a kick out of like the couple of times that she has managed to show her face on the camera and then the chat explodes with purple hearts and FERT. She gets such a kick out of that. Yeah, for real. It is incredibly sweet how kind you all are, given the fact that all you really know about her is that she puts up with my nonsense. But like face to face, you know? Yeah. You need Car Crew t-shirts? Well, we have coffee mugs. You want t-shirts? Oh, I'll make some calls. See if we can do that. President of the Couch Bunnies. I tell you enough embarrassing stories about yourself. What worse stories could be told? Are you kidding? There's so many stories. Like, I have lists. Like, I've kept lists. When story time started becoming a thing, I would be somewhere and it'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, I should tell that on story time. And I would write it down. Actually, it was more like, write it down, right? And then I'd be like, on the second thought, nah. Yeah. Because you just I never know. Sorowit, yes, I have married. I have been married for 22 years. Nixie, Spice Girls Cheese Finger. Is that one of their albums? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. What the hell is a cheese finger? Rhea, you weren't here for that story. Are you missing out? Damn, Madeline, why you gotta throw that in my face? 22 years. I haven't even lived 23 years. Damn, ow. Ow. Amy, I think that we actually have a story time that's been released. That is the cheese finger story. Tasia, did we release that already? The cheese finger of seduction? Oh yeah, we have. That's right. I tell you what, I'll even link it to you. It's only about 4 minutes. There you go, right there in the chat. That is the cheese finger of seduction. You're welcome, for those of you that haven't heard that story. But see, some of the stories, so here's the thing. It's not that some of the stories are bad stories. It's just you don't know how some people are going to take parts of the story. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it without it sounding bad. Okay, I'll give you a minor example. I have stories from the Marine Corps where we used to play games within our platoons and squads called Bull in the Ring. Okay. And basically we'd form a circle, and then one of us would basically, one of the highest ranking guy would be like, okay, you and you in the middle. And you just beat the hell out of each other. And then whoever loses has to fight the next guy. And then you just beat the hell out of each other. And it's a good time, right? And there's reasons that we do that. It sounds like nonsense, but stories that might be associated with that stuff don't necessarily translate well to the audience, even though there might be a little funny punchline or there's goofy things that happen. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know. I mean, it's all consensual. You know, we're just slapping each other around. It's always a good time, but you just never know. How are you still talking about Spice Girls? Now, that is something I've said multiple times. Oh, yeah. See, now you're going through your favorite stories. See, that I like. Tina. I love that you know who Tina is. I don't love the fact that I didn't change her name when I told the story. I'm also now realizing I don't know if I ever told you that. This is the face of regret. There you go. Damn. Well, as you young kids would say, oof. Ooh, it's awkward. That's all right. I look like Z? Do you mean Vin Diesel? Oh. It instantly retracts the message. Yeah, it was a different Tina. It totally wasn't the one that you know. The one watching right now and being really mad at me. Hey, Sabby. The onesie story haunts you. See, things like that. I don't know if I should have told you that. Why would I, like, what benefit do I have to tell you a story of me playing video games and not showering for 9 days? What benefit do I have? What do I get out of that? Why do I do that? Lily, you have been invisible for months, and you finally decide to come back when we are at our most calm and balanced behavior that we could be. Normally, there's fireworks and scooters and motorcycles, and here we're just having a chat, and here comes Lily. See, you think I didn't notice you were gone? I noticed. I pay attention to you folks. Thank you for telling me that me looking like somebody is a compliment, because I'm never quite sure. Yeah, we're totally spilling the tea, which is a term that or a phrase that I've just recently learned. How is Roundhouse? Amber, Roundhouse is great. I see her maybe once every couple months, and she's doing really well. You will be seeing her again. I don't know when, so don't get mad at me, but I'm still working. It's, it's scheduled. She's got a young kid. She works a full-time job, her husband, the whole thing. Yeah. So it always comes down to that. Oops. I mean, I shouldn't have to worry about the anger bar, but okay, good. Yeah, I think I've heard more than anything. I look like, okay, first it was John Cena. Okay, that was in my more buff days. John Cena. Yes, please. Jimmy Kimmel, by hands down, by far, that is the number one thing I have heard is you look like Jimmy Kimmel. And I'm not mad at it. I've heard Tom Hanks recently. Okay, he's a handsome fellow. I have heard Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I think that's his name. He plays Negan. I think that's his name. And then who's the guy that, oh, you're never going to get this. Whoever gets this, I'll be so impressed. He is an actor. If you take Jeffrey Dean Morgan, make him maybe a little more hot, and he's got a dungeon in his house because he plays D&D, and he's a dungeon master. Who's going to get this? Somebody's going to get this. Like, there was actually oh my God, the fart cruncher gets it. Joe Manganiello. Is that his name? Yeah. Joe Manganiello. Bravo. Wow. Now, that one I was like, yes, please. So don't mind if I do. Yeah. I'll take that. Oh, you don't know him? Here, let me share him upon you. I don't know why I said it like that. I got this whole kingdom thing going on in my head. Joe Manganiello. What is it? Manganiello? No, that can't be right. There he is. All right, let me find the most flattering picture of him. Oh, yeah, there we go. Nailed it. Oh, yeah. Found it. Oh, yep. Okay. This, oh, yeah. That's Joe Manganiello. Yep. I can see it. And then when my hair gets that length and I do my first shirtless live, remember I said this, okay? Yeah. Like, no, I don't see it. Rude. Man, Discord, y'all are busy in there. Jeez. Tad, don't even think about it. If you screenshot that and put a clown on there, you and I are going to have words. I'm going to finally catch you in public, and I'm going to bring scissors. And I'm going to scotch tape that beautiful hair of yours onto my own. Yep. And then you're going to be sad. And they're going to be those little tiny green Crayola scissors with like the rounded edges, and they're all plastic. They don't really cut anything. And then I'm just going to scotch tape it all to my head. And then I'm going to go. And you're going to be sad. Damn, my man's doing one-arm pull-ups. Get out of here. Liz already has the shirtless live in her calendar. I still have this picture sitting here of Joe. Oh, Joe. Yeah, so I think those are the main names that I've heard over the last couple years of who you look like. I'll take it. You know, nobody's been like, hey, you look like Sloth from the Goonies. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, I haven't heard that one, thankfully. Those scissors would never cut hair, I know. Yeah, She-Wolf, it is a legit D&D dungeon that Joe Manganiello has in his house. Like, legit. He's got this giant table with these throne chairs, stuff on the walls. I mean, I don't think it's like swings and stuff. It's like a legit D&D dungeon. Not like a, hey, it's the weekend. I don't know why that was The Price is Right, but you follow me. Well, that might be the strangest and best compliment that I've received this week, Madeline. You give me the vibes of chicken nuggets. All right, Madeline, I like you. I like that. It's a good thing. Even specified, it's a good thing. You give me the vibes of chicken nuggets. All right, all right. Yeah, I know John Cena is Army. I've seen lots of videos and stuff of him talking about it. And I remember when I first started doing this and I was doing Beat Saber, I was like, I should challenge John Cena to a Beat Saber match. As if I had any control over that. But then I sat and I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. What if I beat him and he's embarrassed? I don't want to embarrass John Cena. Like, this is the thought process that's going on. As if any of that is even a possibility. So stupid. Oh, I'm your John Cena? Yeah, I'm your John Cena if you bought him on Wish.com. That's where we are. Now, nobody has said I look like Keanu Reeves. That's the one I'm waiting for. So if any of you are so inclined and bored and you want to leave that in a comment somewhere, I wouldn't be against it, you know? Groupon. There it is. Thank you, Lozy. Neo, I'll take that. Walmart Cena. Temu, that's what I was thinking of. You all are going to be so jealous the moment pull this hat off with slow motion and I kick the music on and this luscious hair just goes. The chat is going to explode with crying emojis. You'll see. Remember I said that. I said Sloth from the Goonies, not Chunk. Oh, for crying out loud. This is why we can't have nice things, you guys. This is Chunk. That's not Sloth. I don't know which one's better or worse. This one, yeah, I'm actually not. That's probably what I'm actually going to look like. Yeah. What I think I'm going to look like with long hair? What I'm actually going to look like with long hair. Yep, that's it. Scroll up. I'm afraid to now. Oh, there he is. There's Sloth. Oh, look, this is what I think I look like body rolling. Hello. That is accurate. That is from a live stream, if you didn't know. Are you seeing this? Right? Right here. That is actual footage of me on a live stream with no editing. Okay? Good. Tell your friends. No editing whatsoever. Jeez. That's why we can't have nice things. Oh, good times. What else? What else you want to know? Which Muppet is Roscoe? See, a lot of you are going to say animal. But I might go with... Oh, I don't want to say the old guy's up in the balcony. Cookie Monster, Lily. That's it. Is that a Muppet? I guess Sesame Street. Wait, Muppets? Is the Cookie Monster a Muppet? Fozzie's pretty good. Okay, no, not Fonzie, Angela. The Fonzie is Happy Days. Oh, Tamara, I am not Snuffleupagus. Same eyelashes. Sam Eagle, that's a good one. Gonzo? Beaker. Oh, Beaker, I love that little dude. You just squeeze him and his hair just goes eyeballs. Yeah, let me tell you about Grover. Did I ever tell you about Grover? Oh, of course I remember Alf. Alf was one of the best. I never told you I was terrified of Grover when I was a kid? Like terrified, like trauma from Grover. Alf does eat cats. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was 4 years old. The first house we ever lived in. My room was upstairs and had this window. And there was this big ass branch that would touch the window. And of course, just like a kid with their imagination, it's nighttime, the street lights, branches scratching at the window, these giant wooden hands. I'm sitting in there at 4 years old. I'm convinced that Grover is sitting on that branch messing with me. Grover, the blue guy. Now you think, well, why Grover? Because, see, I told you, I took the words right out of your mouth. Why Grover? Because Grover's twisted, right? Because he knows how to mess with you. He's on the far end of the branch, way across the yard. So when I peek out the window and he's all the way over there, he looks at me and he goes, "Far?" And then I blink and he's right here, near. Terrifying. And he's scratching at my window. "Far?" "Near." Still gets me. Nope. I don't trust him. Did I ever watch dinosaurs? Now, are you talking about like a show, or do you mean like, am I so old that I watched dinosaurs roam the earth? Because my answer will depend on what your intention is, Nixie. The show. I do remember the dinosaurs. There was the little baby. What was the baby's name? Was it Baby? Not the mama? I remember that. That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Land of the Lost. Yep. Jimmy, I didn't realize that we were about the same age. The sitcom from 1991. Oh, man. See, back when I was a kid, we used to have TGIF. And it was like this Friday night family-friendly window of shows where it was like Family Matters with Steve Urkel, and it was Perfect Strangers with Cousin Larry and Balky from Meepos. You know what I mean? Like it was the best. It was Boy Meets World, and yeah. Good times. Step by Step. That's another good one. Oh, I can't believe you remember that. That's crazy. Yep. Full House. Yep. I have to say, Fuller House, I don't think they should have done that. Some things you just got to leave back there. Full House was kind of a classic, back in the day. Like all the stereotypes were kind of represented in that house. It was so ridiculous. But they tried. Who's the Boss? Wow. Tony Danza. Hold me close, young Tony Danza. Good times. We had Growing Pains. Oh, Harry and the Hendersons was good. Yep. Kirk Cameron was like on the cover of Teen Beat. And there was Tiger Beat and all these little magazines, all the heartthrobs. Taxi. Taxi was around when I was like a kid, but I didn't understand it because it was all like adult humor and stuff. Family Ties, that was definitely from my time. A young Michael J. Fox as an entrepreneur. Alex Keaton. Fraggle Rock, absolutely. Cheers, yep. Oh, Small Wonder. Tamara, shut your mouth. How many of you know Small Wonder? Without Googling it, you know what Small Wonder is. Jimmy, of course you do. Mickey? Tommy, yeah, nice. Three's Company, nice. Yeah, Small Wonder was this really goofy sitcom where the dad's an engineer. I think the mom was either a teacher or a housewife, and there was the son, and the dad built a robot. That was Vicky the robot. She had this little red dress with a little white apron. It was pretty terrible. I think it went on for a couple seasons though, but it was one of those ones that like you either kind of got it or you didn't. Yeah, so it was kind of goofy. MacGyver. How many of us played MacGyver as kids? I mean, maybe not you, but I used to stick gum and paper clips on everything. I'm making a bomb. My Secret Identity. Wow, that brought me back. I should have just called this stream. Let's talk about our favorite TV shows. That's fine. Richard Dean Anderson. Wow. Sequest DSV. Why do I know that? Is that like a Baywatch spinoff? Wonder Years, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I remember when I would get up in the morning, I could probably swing about 20 minutes of DuckTales, and then I had to go on the bus and go to school, and I would get home, and then I would be home for about an hour before my parents came. See, me being Generation X, one of our generation's like metas was a lot of us were called latchkey kids. Like we left to go to school, parents were already gone to work. So we had time, like we had to kind of take care of ourselves. We would go to school, we'd come home, we'd still be alone or taking care of younger siblings before the parents came home, right? So my parents would go to work. I'd have a good 45 minutes or so. I'd get on the bus myself, go to school, come home. I'm home for an hour, and then they come home. Well, in 6th grade, I realized that they never actually saw me get on the bus, nor did they see me get off of the bus and come home. They just knew they're at work all day. So Roscoe's sitting there at the window one day at 7:15 a.m. I watch the bus come down the road. It slows down. It almost stops. Oh, can they see me in the window? I'll just hide a little bit. And then it goes. And I think, oh, I did it. I did it. I skipped school. Don't try this at home, kids. And it was this jolt of freedom that I'll never quite forget. Because when you're 11 years old and you have the entire day to yourself with no adults, that feels like a year. Oh, I could do so many activities in this one day. So I do what any self-respecting 11-year-old does. I go to the kitchen and I make this peanut butter and jelly sandwich with apple jelly, like 9 layers. It's like the loaf of bread. And I sit on it so I can fit it in my mouth. And I crush this thing, right? No crumbs. I ate it. How's that for young lingo? And then after a nice little sandwich nap, I eat some of my dad's chips because I think that at the end of the day, they'll just respawn in the bag and he won't know. Well, I have no impulse control, obviously, so I eat the entire bag. And then I go, well, shit, he's going to know I ate all of his chips, but he's not going to know that I skipped school. We're good. So what do you think I do? You think, okay, well, you throw the bag away, you take responsibility, you say, hey, Dad, I'm sorry I ate your chips. Nope. I'm smarter than him. I'm going to outwit my father. So I blow air into the bag so it looks puffy. I roll it up, put the chip clip on it, put it back up there. And then when he confronts me later, I say, you ate them. I didn't touch them. Come on, man. Are you kidding? That's what I did. Anyway. Yeah, my hot breath in the chip bag. Yep. So after the sandwich nap and the chip fiasco, I threw the VHS tape that we had of The Breakfast Club. How many of you have seen the movie The Breakfast Club? If you haven't, you have to watch it. I would like to think that it holds up after all these years. Yeah, The Breakfast Club. Molly Ringwald, Emilio Estevez, Ali Sheedy, the whole crew. Yeah. The Breakfast Club is a pretty raunchy movie. Language, the whole bit. But at 11, I don't care. I'm home alone. I have no adults around me. I'm watching The Breakfast Club. I watched The Breakfast Club 3 times back to back. Parents eventually came home. I think I may have stopped midway and watched Webster. Yeah, probably Webster and a little bit of Price is Right. And then the day ended, my parents came home. How was your day? Oh, it was good. Same old, same old. You know. You got any homework? Yeah, I got some things I could do. All right, good. And then that was that. And I realized I have unlocked a cheat code for life. I never have to go to school again. So the next day, parents leave, school bus. Oh, there it goes. Breakfast Club, sandwich, 3 times Breakfast Club, Webster, Price is Right, Legos, maybe do a little sketching. I'm like a businessman. I got my own thing going on here. I'm hustling, baby. And this continues for a while. Till finally, I get my report card. And it says, missed days. And it was like 24 missed days or something. It was crazy. My mom thought it was a typo. Nope. I have watched Breakfast Club 73 times. Like, I know the movie word for word. Yeah, it's crazy. I missed like an entire month of school. I ate so many sandwiches. I watched so many Breakfast Clubs. And it's a wonder that I actually made it to the following grade. It was terrible. That's why I say don't do this. Like, don't follow in my footsteps. Such a stupid kid. I really was. I was not bright at all. But I thought I was so clever. I'm smarter than all these adults. Yeah. Jeez. I had one job. Just go to school, bro. Nope. Sandwich, Breakfast Club. Yeah, I think times have changed, though. I don't think it's as easy as it used to be, as Jenny says. Not as easy to skip anymore. How many of you are teachers? I know we have some teachers on the couch. I'm just curious if any of you are here. Perry. Okay, Perry, you the only one? History teacher. Amber's a sub, that's right. SBC. Cindy's retired. Sophia's a dirty dancing teacher. Hey, Paulette. Studying to be a kindergarten teacher. Cool. Librarian. Okay, so let me ask you this. For you teachers, now I know this is the case in my area, right? In like my state. I don't know if it's a nationwide thing. I don't know if it's a global thing. So I'm asking, and it may or may not apply, but I'm curious to hear what you have to say. For you teachers, do your students' parents have direct contact with you? Like after hours, can they text you in like a portal? You know, can they like email you and you have to respond like relatively immediately and all that? Oh, that sounds terrible. Yes. Okay. Within 24 hours, you have to respond. Okay. Phone, text, and email. Wow. So as teachers, do you feel like that can create a bit of an issue sometimes? Yeah, times have definitely changed. For sure. It's the worst. Always. Okay. Yeah. It depends on the parents. That's a good answer. I mean, that makes sense. Parents can be worse than kids. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, because you know, like everything, there's multiple sides to this coin. You've got the teachers, and then you've got the parents, and the parents and the teachers are both like trying to do the right thing, trying to keep a balance. You know, like, okay, I'm doing my job, you do your job. Okay, I'm doing my job, you do your job. And then a lot of times it just doesn't line up, and the parent thinks the teacher's out to get the kid when really the kid's just being a butthole sometimes. You know, like and I say that from the perspective of the butthole. Well, Okay, I mean rephrasing, but like I remember being a little dum-dum and thinking that I had manipulated all of the adults around me and they weren't going to crack the code. When really, as soon as they met face to face and said, blah, 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 what? They cracked it like within a matter of seconds. Yeah. So it's crazy. But I mean, just growing up, you just don't know. You think you have it all figured out and you really don't. And the adults always figure it out, right? Yeah, I gotta imagine that's gotta be tricky. Because as a teacher, you've got to be professional, you've got to be civil. Parents they should follow the same rules. They don't always. It's kind of guerrilla warfare from the parents because they are fighting for their kid, and then it's got to be tricky. Yeah, absolutely. Hmm. Ooh, the worst is when it's while a divorce is going on. That's got to be wicked tricky. Like nobody's winning in that whole situation. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just reading some of your comments here. I don't know why I keep looking at the anger bar like it's gonna. We're not even doing anything. But YouTube has been so finicky lately. Like I legit feel bad that I put this fourth grade teacher through a bit of a mess just because. Like if I'm thinking back in retrospect, she was really just holding me accountable. Like I was in fourth grade, so I'm 9 years old. I'm not doing my work. I'm bouncing off the walls. You can't control me. I'm just tap dancing on tables. I'm a mess. And she's holding me accountable, but I go home and I cry to mom that this woman's mean to me and I don't get any recess or playtime when all the other kids do. Well, that's because the other kids are behaving themselves. Well, that's not what I told her. So what does mom do? She writes a letter and I give it to the teacher. And then the teacher writes a letter and I give it to mom and they start this correspondence back and forth. And it goes on just enough times that mom says, yeah, I want to see this chick face to face. Now, granted, she didn't say it like that. Like she didn't pick up a brick and walk into the school and be like, where is she? No, it's not like that. But still, there comes a point where, hey, we've corresponded enough via letters, like the old days. I want to talk to her face to face. And literally within seconds, she's like, oh, my son's a butthole. Got it. Okay. Nah, keep doing what you're doing. Oh, damn. Really thought I cracked the code on that one. Nope. That is life as a child. I love how like all of you have similar stories. We really are a lot more alike than we think, aren't we? Mom got your first grade teacher fired. Fairy Wings, let me ask you, was it warranted? Well, I'm judging from your emoji face that may have not been warranted. Was it warranted? Justice, you love this live? Well, that makes me happy. I always worry when we do stuff like this. Knox, you always behaved? Why don't I believe you? You seem rambunctious. Kathy says they spanked bad kids when I was going to school. You had a few? Kathy, you seem like the type that would act up because you know that's what's coming. You're like, okay, it's Tuesday at 2:15. Let's get some spanking. Kids in the corner. Yeah, I remember that. Here you go, Rhea. This is the G-Shock that I bought that Pagan recommended. You remember we did the live stream. We met our sweet Pagan from the UK. And she recommended this watch and I loved it and I got one. So now every time I wear it, it reminds me of my sweet Pagan. It was warranted, just made school interesting. Yeah, I can see that. So how many of you, with all these stories flying about, how many of you would say that growing up, you were, like me, you were a bit of a butthole? I don't judge. No? Man, those of you that say no, I'm extremely impressed. I'm very jealous. Madeline says she was a butthole to herself. That is honest. A boring rule follower. Seems like you turned out all right, though. You know how I know? Here you are with some awesome people. Yeah, I got into a lot of trouble as a kid, but not as much as I could have. Like, if I'm being honest, you know, I was a lot as a kid. Like, I was a lot of energy, if that is surprising to you. I was a lot of energy. I was always off the walls, and I would just find ways to get what I wanted. You know, I want to be alone for the day. I'm skipping school. I don't care. I want to draw instead of homework. That's what I'm doing. I don't care. Yeah. Hmm. Shin, you were the silent kid at the front of the class. Have a nice evening, Shiori. Thanks for coming by. Hmm. Man, Bianca, honor roll and popular. Boy, you just throwing out the vibe, ain't you? What are you fishing for some dates in here? Damn, Bianca, save some for the rest of us. I was on honor roll one time, and it was 5th grade. It was the first quarter of the entire year. Okay, so like once you get out of, in my country, elementary school is 1st grade to 4th grade, or it was back in 2,000 years ago when I was in elementary school. There was elementary school 1 through grade 4. And then when you got into 5th grade through 8th grade was like junior high. That was middle school. And then 9th grade was your freshman year, and then 12th grade, senior, and then you go. But when you get into 5th grade, back in my day, that's when honor roll became a thing. Grades actually became a thing. Well, that first quarter, I got honor roll. Oh, this is great. I'm a genius. And then I realized that it takes some work to keep that up. Nope, never again. There's not something that I've ever told you before. From 5th grade until I graduated high school, I was in danger of staying back a year every single year. Every year, from 5th grade all the way through junior high, and then all the way through high school, I was in danger of staying back every year. I did not have the attention span or focus to do any of that stuff. It was nuts. It was hard. And it was every single year was like, you know, you're not going to graduate with your friends. They're going to hold you back a year. Like, just didn't know how to like do that, you know? I didn't know how to like focus like these kids could focus. Hard. Cindy, I was never diagnosed. I mean, I think if I had to like choose yes or no, I think I was, and I think I show traits of that. And even Annie, who is a therapist, you know, she says, yeah, I see traits of it. She's like, I can't diagnose you because you're, you know, my partner, but I see stuff like that. And when I think about me as a kid, oh my God, I absolutely was hyperactive and just could not focus. I'll never forget it. Yeah, it was really, really difficult. And yeah, they didn't know back then, like they didn't know the type of things that they know now about how to recognize those things, how to diagnose and then treat those things. So it was a bit of a different world. Yeah. Yeah, Amy, I guess it's just one big story time, right? Always tired and had low energy. Man, that was so not my problem. Nope. I was bouncing off the walls and you couldn't keep me in my seat. See, Nixie, I think I kind of do that too. When I find something that I am like in and I invest in, you can't stop me. I am unstoppable. So I don't know if that's something too, you know, I don't know. But things that I've struggled with over the years for sure. I am very grateful though that for the most part, the things that I have found myself obsessing over, kind of getting lost in, could have been a lot worse. I will say that. You know, yeah, I got addicted to video games for a number of years and was like a legit addict. And that caused some problems, but I could have gone a bunch of different ways in my life. And thankfully I made some good decisions. Hmm. Ah, the nerdy goth kid. I don't think I ever went through a goth phase. I went through the crisscross phase. All my clothes were so baggy. Pants were backwards. Jersey was backwards. Yeah. Yeah. And in terms of the hyperfixation that you're talking about, perfect example. I'm in 10th grade. My grades are terrible, terrible. And the teacher gives us this assignment, my English teacher. Yeah, Mrs. Nelson. And she goes, all I want you to do is if you're writing your own story, I want you to write a chapter about a part of your life. It can be right now, it can be back in the day, whatever. Just choose a chapter and write a chapter of your story. Let's say we had 2 weeks. I showed up with no shit, a book, chapter 1 through like chapter 20. I just went all typed, all fancy with little graphics. And she was like, you wrote this? Yeah. Like, I just sat down and went. And I think I still have it. You're never going to read it, but I still have it to this day. This is when I found something like that. I just completely got locked in and I could not stop until it was complete. It's like I couldn't function. You know what I mean? If it wasn't done, I couldn't think of anything else. I don't know if you can relate to any of that. What kind of shows do I like? Well, of course, my favorite show of all times is Friends. That's a given. I also like The Office, Parks and Rec. I just recently got into Survivor. I never thought I would, but we started watching it, and I'm kind of hooked. I don't watch a lot of TV. That's the truth. But when we do watch, that's kind of what we're doing. We went through the Jersey Shore phase, which was awesome. But I really don't watch a ton of TV. You've never seen Friends, should you watch it? Madeline, I would recommend it, but I honestly, I do fear that it's one of those shows that may just be lost in time. Give it a try. Start at the first episode of season 1 and see if you like it. Because what I love about it is it's not rip-roar funny necessarily, but it's light and it's entertaining and it's a perfect show that you can kind of put on in the background, and it adds life to your environment like there's people with you. It does feel like you have friends in the room with you. And I really do love that. Did I learn English with Friends like Junie? No, absolutely not. I'm still working on my English. Yeah, it was a thing for the time for sure. Pivot. My sandwich. So many good lines. I like New Girl. I got into New Girl, and I think around season 5, it just started to trail off. I felt like they were just really hanging on, hiring new writers, and it just kind of changed, and it felt different. But Winston was my favorite. Prank Sinatra. So funny. Good Place was pretty good. We watched that. Yeah. Some shows, they really do. Like, you got to kind of watch them in the time and they don't translate later. That is interesting how that works. What We Do in the Shadows. Is that like a 50 Shades of Grey type of thing going on there? That's what it sounds like. Vampire comedy? Ooh, I have watched Alone and I have watched Naked and Afraid. And boy, is that such a strange concept. I love watching Alone. Those survival shows, I love that stuff. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be outside in that nonsense, but I love watching people go through it. Oh, yeah. Seinfeld, I could still watch Seinfeld. Yep, 100%. A show about nothing. Brilliant. Brady Bunch. I don't know if I feel like Brady Bunch would really only work from a nostalgia point. Like those people who watched it back then might watch it to kind of regain that nostalgic feeling. I don't know if it would carry though. I could be wrong. You know, like somebody that's not watched it ever and then watches it now. I don't know. Oh, Traitors is amazing. If you're not watching Traitors, shame on you. Get to watching. That's one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. Traitors. Good call, Perry. See you, Madeline. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Traitors is a show where, and I'm not going to give you too much. You do have to just kind of find it and watch it. They take a group of people. Let's say it's 20 people. They don't know each other. They put them in this hotel, castle, whatever. And then 3 of them are chosen to be traitors. Not trade like I'll give you this, you give me this, but traitors like he's a traitor. Whatever that means. Traitors. 3 of them are traitors. Or 4 of them are traitors. The other ones are called faithfuls. The game is the faithfuls have to figure out who the traitors are while they all start getting voted out one by one, like Survivor. It's essentially the gist without giving you too much. And then at the very end, the ones who are left, they all choose to split the giant jackpot of money If there is still a traitor left in that group that nobody knows until the last moment, the traitor gets to keep all the money. If there's no traitor left in that final group, they all get to split it. It is one of the most fascinating social experiments I've seen in a long time. Yeah, it is like Mafia. That's one of the things I've heard. It is friggin' brilliant. There's a season in the UK. There's a US season. There's an Australian season. And they're all fantastic. It's called Traitors. 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 I don't know where you can watch it. You might have to Google that. Moonlight. Do you mean Moonlight with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis? Moonlight. That doesn't sound right. Moonlight. What am I thinking of? Where are my older folks? Moonlight, right? Yeah. Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. Traitors is in Peacock. There you go. Moonlighting. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. What's Moonlight? I saw Squid Game. I did. Oh, Moonlight is a vampire show. I have not seen that. I will tell you, and Kathy, don't get nervous when I say this. I'm not much of a vampire fan. So, like, I've never seen Twilight. I think Twilight has a bunch of... Wait, why does all the Moonlights, Twilights, and stuff are all vampires? I guess that makes sense. Because it can't do the whole sunlight thing. Yeah, I just answered my own question. Duh. Now, zombies, I'm a big zombie fan. End of the world, apocalyptic stuff. I love that stuff. Oh boy, I love that stuff. There's a game that Fert and I will play. We'll be like driving around, we'll be out in town, or we'll be in a whole other country. And we'll be like, all right, lockdown. Where are we going? What are we doing? As if all of a sudden the lights just got cut off. Zombie apocalypse. Where are we going? What are we doing? Go. And we start talking through where we would go. Okay, what are we grabbing? Grab this, grab that, do this, bolt this door. We're heading out this direction. Where are we going? We're heading east. And we just kind of do that. That's a good time because we love that apocalyptic stuff. Train to Busan is fantastic. And that's before I was reading everything I was watching, thanks to all these music videos and shows that we watch. Because, you know, I'm a bit of a reader. I do love the dystopian stuff. Here's a question for the group. Zombies. Slow or fast? Watch, this will be the one time that you all can't be trusted and chaos just blasts through the chat and you lose all respect for it. You can't say all. Medium. Reader goof with the medium. Yeah, because with zombies, you know, in the olden days, the zombies were slow because they were, you know, it was like a virus or they were dead, so that the muscles didn't really work that way. And then you took something like 28 Days Later, which is an incredible movie. And then the virus that infects them is rage, so it makes the zombies fast. That shit is terrifying. Yeah, that is nuts. And The Walking Dead, I do enjoy. Now, keep in mind, I haven't finished the show, so don't start throwing out crazy spoilers and stuff. You're like, bro, it's been out for 32 years. I know, I just haven't finished it yet. it's like a difficult relationship I'm trying to work through, trying to like lean back into it. But I loved the, you know, there's slow zombies, so you can, you know, manipulate things and you can just kind of curb things to work in your favor. But then all of a sudden, there's a horde of them. Oh, that changes things. You got some time to think and time to plan. Okay, we can do this and that. But when the zombies are fast, that is nuts. Terrifying. What's the new show? You said the new show just premiered. What's that? A new Walking Dead show? Like a spinoff? Oh, The Last of Us. Alpaca, that's such a good point. What I don't like is the inconsistency. Sometimes the zombies are slow and sometimes they're fast. Like, why? I need consistent enemies. Has said every warrior known to man over the history. Yep. Got to keep us on our toes. That's right. For those of you talking about The Last of Us, I have both video games of The Last of Us, part 1, part 2. I have not played them. Do I need to play them to enjoy the show? I feel like the answer should be no, but you never know. I have seen Zombieland 1 and 2. Big fan of the first one. The second one was okay. Don't need to play them. That's good. I can just get right into the show. That's good to know. I'm waiting for the book is much better than the show. Oh man, Kathy, I remember that. That dude that was on bath salts, that was nuts. When that news came out, I was like, there's a zombie in Florida. Kinda. Bath salts. Awkward. Resident Evil. Yes or no? Ooh. I'm going to say yes, but I can only say that because of the popularity. I've never actually gotten too deep into the Resident Evil franchise myself. So I can't say whether or not it's like yay or nay, accuracy, consistency. I don't really know. But there's like 2,000 spin-offs and versions of Resident Evil, so they're doing something right. I do know that. Zombie Run BTS. That's right. That was one of my favorites. That still gets me. My opinion on John Carpenter movies, The Fog especially. I don't know if I've seen The Fog. Now, I want to clarify, Becca, you mean The Fog, not The Mist, right? Because I have seen The Mist, which I do have a comment on, but I don't think I've seen The Fog. Would I be able to beat a killer robot like Megan? You just unplug her. That's easy. The Fog with Jamie. World War Z, 100%. Great movie. I don't think I've seen The Fog, to be honest with you. And I will say this about the movie The Mist, for those of you that have seen it or not seen it. The Mist, to me, is a movie I could take or leave. It's meh. But there's one moment that is one of the moments I will remember from many, many movies. That's all I will say. Old and remake of The Fog. Okay. Oh, NB, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So clever. American Horror Story. Yeah, I started watching that series when it first came out, and it was wild. The first couple seasons were really, really awesome. And the way that they did the anthology stuff of same characters, or sorry, same actors, but different characters and different situations and storylines, I really loved that. But I think after maybe the third season, I think once they hit the circus or the carnival, it kind of lost. It kind of lost the juice for me. I have watched Midsummer. As a matter of fact, I watched that in the theater when it came out. Hmm. And when I watched Midsummer, I'll say that I went in kind of knowing that there were mixed reviews about it, and I didn't really know what to expect. But of course, like I want to give it the fresh look. I don't know if I could tell you much about the movie, but I want to say when it was over, I thought it was a really, really well executed film. Now, again, I can't tell you much except for some old guy standing up on top of a hill. That's really all I remember. But I remember feeling a certain way through the movie, and I feel like the way that they carried the tension across the film was really well done. Now, storyline and all that, no idea. Don't remember any of it. Carrying the tension across an hour and a half, 2 hours, well done. That's what I remember. What's my favorite movie? I have a couple favorites. Usually I say it's Home Alone or Teen Wolf, Breakfast Club. You know, these classics that you always kind of go back to. They make you feel a certain way. I love You've Got Mail. That's pretty high up there. But the movie that I tell people about when they're like, hey, what's a good movie? The first thing I tell people is A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place. I also highly recommend A Quiet Place 2. Sequels don't generally hold up, but this one does. John Krasinski is fantastic. I also recommend Jordan Peele's Get Out and Us. Jordan Peele's first movie that he directed was Get Out, and it's phenomenal. It's friggin' phenomenal. And Us is just as good. Oh yeah, Princess Bride, that is also one of my favorites. That is up there. And the fact that I forgot about it is, I'm ashamed of myself. I have seen Don't Breathe. That is another fantastic movie. Fantastic. Ooh, Moulin Rouge. Great movie, Mal. Great movie. Great soundtrack, too. I haven't seen the Teen Wolf series, but when I say Teen Wolf, I mean the Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf movie from like 1986. That's the one I'm talking about. So all the remakes that came later, even the one with, was it Jason Bateman? Was there a Justin Bateman? I can't believe this is where we've landed on the conversation. There was a Bateman that was a werewolf in a Teen Wolf spinoff later. But my favorite was the Michael J. Fox. Oh, yeah. Ewan McGregor phase. Oh, I'm with you, sister. It was Jason Bateman? Yeah. Hey, Key. Justine Bateman. And she was in Family Ties. Train Spotting. God. That's another movie that there are just enough moments in that movie that people will talk about that movie for decades. So like just now, you mentioned Train Spotting, and a lot of us go, ooh, because we know there's a couple moments in that movie that make you go, ooh. Ooh. And you are uncomfortable. That's pretty impressive. 1917. I have not watched this. As a matter of fact, if there is one type of movie that I do not watch, generally it's war movies. That is very true of me. And you think that it wouldn't be the case because I'm a Marine, but that is actually the opposite. That's why I don't watch them. And I think part of that is really just because um, it's kind of timing wise, really. I think is really what it comes down to. Um, in in 2003, I was literally sitting in my living room watching the movie Black Hawk Down. I was in the middle of the movie when the phone started ringing, and it was news from other fellow Marines that we had lost a Marine friend in combat. I did not get a chance to ever finish this movie because so many calls kept coming in about so and so's gone, so and so's gone. This is what happened. It was all in combat. It was during a fight. It was this, blah, blah, blah. And I never finished the movie because I couldn't bring myself to go back to it when life just went upside down. And then once all that was done over the span of a month, then I got recalled back into the military. So from that point on, you'll be hard pressed for me to sit down and watch a war movie. Like that's just how it is. I get why people do it, and it is interesting. It's part of history in any aperture that you look at it from, unfortunately, but that is the case. And I just yeah, it's really complex. So So yeah, even this stuff like 1917, like cinematically, it's really brilliantly done. They hide all these transitions and darkness and cuts that you don't even see, and it makes it feel like the whole thing is done in one take. Well, cinematically, cinematography wise, I love that stuff, but there's no way I'm gonna be able to appreciate those things because I get locked in to the combat aspect, and then the interpersonal aspect of, yeah, you're looking at two guys that are shooting guns in that general direction, but I'm seeing it from the perspective of I'm this guy and Brendo is this guy. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole different thing for me anyway. Do I remember batteries not included? Wasn't that the little flying? Is that right? I think that's all I know. I don't think I know anything about it except for it's the little flying. That's it. I mean, it's not short circuit. It's not J5, Johnny 5, but I do remember. I do like the Ace Ventura movies. I liked the Austin Power movies. Now, when you talk comedy for me, it's a good question. Oh man, I feel like my tastes have changed over the years so greatly because I've been watching movies for a big chunk of my life. I Love You Man with Paul Rudd. I saw that in the theater and I laughed in that old lady's blue hair so hard that she got mad at me. That's the first movie that comes to my brain. That poor woman. Police Academy, classic. Oh yeah. I think it was either Police Academy 2 or 3. It might have been 2, where Bobcat Goldthwait and whoever it was that played Sweet Chuck, they're riding on their motorcycles next to each other. Oh, God, shit ruined me as a kid. That was so funny. Super Troopers, fantastic. Yep. Classic movies. Spaceballs. Dumb and Dumber, absolutely. Now, the Furt is not a fan of Jim Carrey. She never liked his humor. It's very slapsticky, and I get that. It's pretty obnoxious. For me, I love it. I think he was great. Black Adder, I have not. I don't think I've even heard of that. Galaxy Quest. Where have I heard Galaxy Quest? That might be the movie that Tasia has been begging me to watch. And I want to say she showed me a clip of it. And I went, look, I consider you a friend. If you make me watch this movie, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. I think is pretty much how that went. Oh, Rowan Atkinson. Absolutely. He's Mr. Bean, for those of you that don't know. He is amazing. I've seen a couple of his like stand-ups on stage. He's brilliant. It's very subtle humor. Brilliant, yeah. Oh, if that's Blackadder, got it. Okay. Oh, the invisible drums? I absolutely saw that bit. It's incredible what he does. The amount of time he would have to put into practicing all that, yeah. The Hunger Games, yeah, of course. First thought was BTS tickets. Jiminy Glick? Why do I know that? Is that the Martin Short character? I'm talking to you. Jiminy Glick. I've heard that. Yep. Okay. And y'all making some synapses fire. Bridesmaids. That's one of my favorite comedies. Bridesmaids. Who is that? Kristen Wiig? Maya Rudolph? So friggin' funny. God, they're hilarious. I just want to hang out with them in real life. You know, as always, I know I say this, but I never quite know how this is going to go, and we just get on and just chat, but I always really enjoy this. We literally accomplished nothing, but I mean, we tested everything that I wanted to test. Hopefully the last part of the test, which is uploading it to the storage site. Hopefully they don't, yeah, we're in danger of breaking those caps again we talked about. So anyway, hopefully that'll go well too. Oh, that's a good idea, Rhea. After I get done, I'm going to fix that anger bar. See if I can find a way to make that stay fixed. Blue Sky, are you just now arriving or have you been here for a while? And you just figured out how to chat? It may be the just figured out how to chat. If enough time goes by, I start to get concerned. I'm like, oh, I feel bad now because they're panicking. How do I answer him? They're saying it out loud. I'm new here. I really do like doing this. You watch videos, but this first time watching live. Okay, well, welcome. I do like doing this because honestly, it's like when we do the reactions and stuff, and Gino has talked about this, so I know it's not just me, but you kind of sometimes end up in this mode of like, go, 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 because sometimes like the last couple live streams, I've hit a video that I just break down for a long time. You know what I'm talking about. And I kind of sometimes have to force myself to just stop because I know people are antsy. They want me to get to the next one. Like, hey, bro, you've been talking about this 4-minute video for 45 minutes. Get on to the next one. So I got it. Okay. And I kind of shut it down and I move on to the next one. Okay, got it. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, this one was all right. Next, until we get to one that's another deep dive. But it's hard sometimes to shut down the reaction train once it's going and get back into like personal mode. So I really do like these. I do love the breakdowns too. I really do. The theory crafting behind some of the music videos, I just love that stuff. I mean, you know me. I can sit here and talk to you for what has it been? It's been 2 hours. Are you friggin' serious? We've been sitting here running our food holes for 2 hours. There's no way. Huh. Yep. Wow. Oh, I have. Yeah, okay, that's crazy. So, yeah, God, I forgot what I was saying. No idea. No, it's gone. Theory crafting. Oh, that's what it was. I was saying, like, I'm a storyteller. I can sit here and talk to you for 2 hours apparently and not even see the time go by. I just like having the conversation back and forth. But I'm a storyteller. I've always been a storyteller since I was a kid, and even in the Marine Corps, we're in these miserable situations and we're waiting forever for X, Y, or Z to happen. And they say, "Hey, Roscoe, tell us a story." And I would just become the TV that everybody is watching. Keeps morale up, people are happy, keeps the brotherhood tight, and it just kind of works out. So with this stuff, like, with the videos that we watch, breaking them down to these very core levels of what type of story are they trying to tell? What are they hiding in these videos that you don't really catch at first glance? That's the stuff that I love. Like, even the stories that I tell you, yeah, there's a start in the story, there's an end to the story, there's some kind of conflict. But you notice when I tell you the stories, I try to use, like, the way that I'm telling you that story very specifically. It's paced a certain way. I give you details that you think aren't important, but they are. Very subtle ways that a story is woven together to make the listener feel like they are in that story. Those of you that remember being locked in the wall locker with me while the general was outside my door and I'm holding that door closed, you remember what it felt like in that wall locker. You remember how nervous we were. Like, that's how it should be. So when we get a chance to break down these videos, yeah, I want to know, what tricks are they using to make us feel the way that I think they're trying to make us feel? Yeah. Love that stuff. Well, we hung out for 2 hours today. Now the final test will be the upload, and we'll have fingers crossed. I appreciate you hanging out today. I'd like to do more of these, but I'm going to run out of shit to say. Think that's possible? Don't answer that. So why don't we do this? Oh, Justice, that's a really good question. I'm going to answer that. A question about the autobiographical chapters that you wrote in school. Did you feel like you had to keep writing because just one chapter would be misunderstood? Yes. Justice, when I started writing those little chapters that the teacher asked for, I realized that if I tell this story, it's not going to make any sense until I go back and I tell this story. And then when I got there and I told that piece of story, I said, well, that's not going to make any sense. You got to know this. Well, here's the catch that I didn't tell you. I started going back through these chapters, right? Going back a couple years. And then I started to discover some things about myself and how I function and why I think the way that I do and how I behave sometimes that kind of made me go, whoa, huh. You talk about nurture and nature and all that stuff. And I started to kind of go, ooh, I don't know if I'm ready to deal with that. And I just stopped writing. And that was it. Now, that being said, the teacher pulled me aside afterwards and she graded. She was like, this is incredible that you wrote this. She's like, but I have to ask you, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. No worries. I'm good. She was like, okay. And then that was that. But that's a good question, Justice. Are you all ready? You see what's happening down here. Justice tried to stall, but it's time. So I want you to prepare your boops. Prepare your purple hearts. Prepare your peaches. Yes, Michelle, it's time, dear. You ready? I know, Brenda. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Okay. Now, there's only 138 of you in here, so it should still be pretty strong. Perry? No, yeah. Damn it, Cindy. Sweet Pea, where have you been? Okay, here's what's going on for you new people, or Sweet Pea, who just shows up whenever she damn well pleases, Danita. When I press this button and the purple heart shows up on the screen, I want the whole chat to say boop. That's it. I want you to type out your boop right now. Don't send it yet until I press the button. Is everybody on board? You better get your tomatoes together, people. Tad, I'm watching you, bro. Judas, I see you. You brats. Ooh. You had one job. Joyce? Joyce? Look at this. Look at this nonsense. I haven't even hit the button.